Alright, we got all the decals on it. Sorry you missed the live stream. Had a little staining from overtime because this kit's almost 30 years old, but that's where we're at. Just now getting ready to do the finishing touches, put in the windows, get the spoiler on it, a couple other minor things. So we'll be stopping and starting through it as I make more progress. Alright, we got the windows in it. A little seepage on the glue on the front, and I will make a little note. But I do use super glue when I build a model, and it all has to do with longevity because regular model glue over time doesn't hold together. But using super glue is a trick doing windows, because if you use a little bit too much, when it dries you can get little burn marks in the plastic around where it seeps out at, so you got to be really careful. So next we're going to get the grill in there and get the rear spoiler on, and then we got a couple of decals to do to finish it up. I suppose we'll just leave it going. A little bit on there. Oops. And on these chrome pieces you got to use a little extra glue because they don't like to stick real well. A lot of times what will happen is it'll burn through the paint, and it can take quite a while for something like this to dry in place because the paint reactivates from the glue, and then you gotta, quite literally, the paint has to re-dry with the glue in it so the piece will stick, so you gotta be kind of patient with that. So let's get the rear spoiler on there. Oh, and spoiler backwards. Another nice thing about super glue is a lot of times with regular model glue, especially tester's glue, you might as well be putting oil on there and your parts end up slipping around all over the place. But in super glue gel, you don't get that, and the drying time is Well, it's not immediate, but it definitely doesn't take as long as regular amount of wool. So what I usually do is I'll take the labeling and I'll put that on the inside of the body. Why? I don't know, because it's just what I do. So we'll cut it off for a second and then we'll do that. And we'll fit the body on the chassis and it'll be done. Alright, I'm about to place one of the final decals. I always put it on the passenger side, on the inside of the body. In a way, this is kind of like signing the model because I'm relatively sure nobody else does this. Just like that. And there's one more decal to do here. Talking in the background, that's Tommy Robinson. He's talking about this documentary that he made that proves a lot about the way that Islam operates and how it's generally all about children, and how it was quite literally censored and taken down off of major platforms because so many people were waking up as to the way things are. And there are factions in the world that just will not allow that to happen. Well, I am not liking that one bit. Oh, we're not going to use that. So it's pretty much the completion of the whole thing with my little signing method there. If you ever see a model out in the world, which I highly doubt you ever will, that has this on the inside, I probably built it. But we'll fit the body on the chassis now, which can be kind of a challenge in itself sometimes. So there we go. Benny Parsons Thunderbird. Which, here's another thing about some of these old kits. If they sit around too long, they'll literally the chassis will warp because of something laying on it or whatever. And it's just the way it is. I said it last night that if you're going to do this, sometimes you have to live with your mistakes, and sometimes the mistakes aren't yours, but it is what it is. And you couldn't race a car that was like this, but it sure enough can sit on the shelf. Y'all take care.